Hello, and welcome to another strategies, tactics, and boost video. And I hope we helped and you all made it to the opening of Saturday, because this is uh, this is why we are here. We are here to see the tracks we are racing for. We are racing this weekend, opening and final round. So I hope everybody made it. Everybody who followed our strategies made it. And let's not waste time. Let's go and see Silverstone GP opening and final round tracks. As you can see, again, two times we are racing in Silverstone, and again with some chances of rain, not as big as in the qualifying round, but again, especially in the first race, 25%. Second track, Hungary. Third race, USA Austin, 20% chance of raining. Fourth race, again we stay in the United States, but we travel to Miami for our next race, and then Sakir Desert, Bahrain. And be careful, you see the temperatures 35 to 40 degrees. It will be marginal for the softs. We'll talk about it when we get down to the strategies for Bahrain. Sixth race, Azerbaijan, Baku, and seventh race, Jeddah, again with very high temperatures. We have to be careful. Softs will have serious problems if the temperature is over 30. So we have to see about it. And of course, again, we end our GP in Silverstone. So let's start. Let's quickly remember what we are doing in Silverstone. We raced two times in the qualifying round, so let's just see this again from wherever we are. 4-3 hard, medium, and of course 3-4 medium hard. If we are in the middle or at the top of the grid, then we start with the softs 2-2-3 and 3-2-2, starting with the mediums. And of course, if it rains, 3-4, not 4-3, because every bot will pit on lap 4, so we have to avoid traffic. 3-4, and this is why the 2-pit strategy is 3-2-2. We pit on the third and on the fifth lap, not on the fourth. We can change the strategy a little bit and make it 2-3-2, again on the second and on the fifth pitting, but we cannot make this strategy 2-2-3. We want to avoid lap 4 to be our lap that we pit. Okay, let's go to Hungary. We raced in our last GP. We had some issues. So 5-3 medium soft. Yes, first of all, this is a cornering track, so we are boosting. Most of our choices will be cornering, and if we want some speed, then only combo boosts like Merlion and Tune-in. And we got a lot of Tune-ins now we can use, especially if we are at the top of the grid or in the middle of the grid. We can use them. Okay, if we are at the top of the grid, we can use boosts without a race start. If we are at the back or in the middle of the grid, my first choices would be boosts with race start, which is very important for our races when we are at the back or in the middle. Now, this strategy seems to be great and it helps a lot. Even if we start at the top of the grid, we start with the softs and then we decide what to do. Two laps, two pit stops, 3-3-2, we can do it. One pit stop only, 3-5, we can do it. So even one pit stop, 4-4, soft medium, we can do it. Starting with the softs is a very good strategy. So 3-5 is better when we are at the back or in the middle of the grid, but we can have this in mind when we start at the top, because we will start with the softs, and depending on how the race goes, we can easily use even this strategy. Now, as we said, in other tracks like Barcelona, Mexico, 4-4 is the most safe strategy we can use. Soft medium. Hungary is very easy on tires, so we can go 4 laps with softs. Of course, we have to be a little bit careful. We are not going to push, and maybe we need some pushing some blue. But as I always say, if your drivers are at a low level, if you start at the back of the grid and your drivers are not in a high level and have not a good tire management, yes, then medium, not soft medium. And of course, if we are in the middle or at the top of the grid, we can do two pit stops. Don't be afraid of doing two pit stops, but what you have to have in mind is that we start when we are at the top or in the middle of the grid, we start with the softs, and if we see that it won't be a good choice to do two pit stops, then we can do this strategy or this strategy. So if we are in the middle or at the top of the grid, start both drivers with softs and decide depending mainly on your race start. You can do this even if you are at the back of the grid, but maybe at the back of the grid, one of your drivers can go 5-3 if you want it, but you can choose to go 4-4 and 3-5 even if you are at the back. Okay, now next, Austin. We raced in Austin, full rain last GP. Now we have some chances of rain, so we're going to see the dry strategies too. When we are at the back or in the middle of the grid, 4-3, medium. Here we can choose between, it's a combo track, so we can choose whatever we want, either combo boosts, or especially if we are in the middle or at the top of the grid, we can use Taurus, we can use Koopa, we can use Cal, which I don't have a lot, and when I get some, I will be using it even more. But mainly when we are at the back or in the middle of the grid, we like to use boosts with good race start. Now, if we want to do 3 laps in our first stint, then it will be medium hard, and we use hard in our second stint because we want to be able to push in our second stint and maybe overtake other cars in our last stint. So medium, because here in our first stint with the mediums we're not going to push, we're going to push a little, and mainly we're going to conserve more and charge our power unit. So if we want 4 laps to and be able to push, the hards are our choice. Now if we are in the middle or at the top of the grid, 3-4 but with softer compounds, soft, medium, we can do it. When we start in the middle or at the top of the grid, it means that our drivers are a little better, so we can do 3 laps with the softs. Of course, we won't be able to push a lot, but in some spots when we want to just overtake slower cars, we can do it. And then on yellow and of course in the big straight, a lot of blue to recharge. Another option for this strategy would be soft hard. So we charge a lot in our first stint and then we push a lot in our second stint. Now, if we are at the top of the grid, we can choose to do 2 pit stops, 2-2-3, soft, medium, and maybe soft, and again soft in our last stint. And as you can see, it's even better if we move the stint with 3 laps in the middle, 2-3-2. So we push, we recharge our power unit, and then we push again in our last stint. This is how it goes in this strategy. And the third choice, 3-2-2. We push a little and then we roll, then we recharge 2 laps and push the last 2. Now, if it rains, 3-4, wherever you start, back, middle, top, 3-4. Nothing else. 3-4 if you are at the back, in the middle, or at the top of the grid. All the bots are pitting lap, half of them lap 4 and the others lap 5. So 3-4 to avoid traffic, and it worked perfectly in our last GP. So follow this. Now, if you have seen my last GP, after lap 1 I was P1. So I did 4-3 for my first driver because he was P1 and I opened the gap a little bit. So even though half of the bots entered the pit lane in lap 4, I was the first one to go and the first one to enter the pit lane and the first one to go, so there was no traffic issues for me. If you are P1, maybe P2, then yes, 4-3 can work, so you can avoid, because you don't want both your drivers 3-4 and have some stacking. You can do it, but only if you are at the top of the grid. If you are not P1, P2, forget about it, because a hell of a traffic when it rains in Austin in laps 4 and 5. So avoid it. It's better to stack your drivers lap 3 than pit on lap 4 or lap 5. Okay, we are staying in the States but traveling to Miami, one of the fastest tracks in the game. Are we having rain here? No, we are not. So it's a dry race. Yes, we are not. So it's a dry race. 2 pit stops, 2-3 soft, medium. It's not Miami. It's not like Jeddah. Last season they were the same. This season they are not. Miami is less tire consuming, so soft, medium, 2 to 3, we can do it. Of course, speed boosts, and of course, as you can see, we can do 3-2-2, and it's medium, soft, medium. Why? If in our last stint we want to push a lot, soft can do 2 laps, but without a lot of pushing. So we recharge in our middle stint, and then we push a lot. We push. We have, maybe we can have 100% in our power unit and push like hell in our last stint to overtake other drivers. Bahrain, another track that restart is maybe 70% of the race. So this is why we start with the softs. We use, when we are in the back or in the middle of the grid, we use Koopa, we use Firework, we use Street Shark, we use Prince, Herald, Hook. We use, and the best choices for me would be Street Shark, Herald, Firework, and Koopa. The most boosting in our restart we can give, because, as I said, it's 60-70% of the race. It's the restart. In Bahrain, softs 2-3-3, but be careful. Let's see again a little bit here. 35 to 40 degrees. This means that we are going to have issues with our tires. We are not going to be able to push a lot with the softs. And maybe if your drivers don't have so much tire management, good tire management, maybe the stints with the 3 laps, especially the third stint, where we want to push, maybe we should do it with the mediums. So be careful about it. You can see in this strategy 2-3-3, you put the softs in the second stint and you see how far it can take you, and you decide before getting in for your second pit if last stint will be with softs or mediums. So you are going to decide during the race for your last stint, depending on the temperature of the race. And of course, our other strategies 3-3-2. Again, we can do the same here, but because the stints with the the stints with the 3 laps are at the beginning, we can do them with softs, but we're going to conserve a little bit if we see that we can't make 3 laps with a soft. Of course, the second stint can be done with mediums again, but it's up to you. You are going to see in the first stint if you can do 3 laps with the softs or you need the mediums. No thinking of one pit stop here. 2 pit stops is the fastest strategy. Let's go to Baku, and we had it's been a long time since we raced in Baku. Let's see. Of course, if we are at the back or in the middle of the grid, 4-3 hard medium, and as you can see, you can choose between cornering or speed boosts. Maybe cornering is the best, but it's up to you what you are going to decide. If you have a setup with, let's say, 190 of cornering and 120 of speed, maybe boosting your speed won't hurt. So 4-3 and 3-4 again, if you are at the back or in the middle of the grid, medium hard. We can't do 4 laps with the mediums, so that's it. Now, if we are in the middle of the grid, then or at the top of the grid, then we can use softs and go for 2 pit stops, 2-3. Again, here, as you can see, softs are not going to last for 3 laps, so the stints with 3 laps will be done by mediums. Again, to avoid stacking, our second driver will start with the mediums, medium, soft, soft, 3-2-2. Best choices here, if you are in the middle, are Koopa, Street Shark, Firework. If you are at the top, Taurus, Eclipse, well, our beloved Deadfast. Now, last track, 7th track, and then it's again Silverstone, Jeddah. Let's take a look again. Jeddah, as you can see, 27 degrees to 38. Probably we are going to have more than 30 degrees temperature. This means that tires will be an issue, and in Jeddah, don't forget, the softs cannot do 2 laps. We have to conserve. Now, if the temperature is above 30, I don't know if we can use softs. It's a very big issue here. It's something we're going to see how much we need to conserve to make 2 laps. Of course, one strategy for wherever we are, 2-3, and if you're going to do 2 pit stops, for me this is the best strategy. 2-3, start fast to be able to have a good race start with the softs, and then conserve, keep our power for our last stint with the hards, where we are going to be able to push. Of course, there is an alternative. We start with hards and then soft and medium, 3-2, but starting with the hards in Jeddah, it's a little bit tricky, and it may cost us because it may cost us our opening lap, and maybe it will cost a good result. So if you want 2 pit stops, 2-3 for your one driver, and then back to 3 pit stops, 2-2-2-1 is one option, but because in our first driver we're going 2-2-3 and we want to avoid stacking, then we choose this strategy, which we go 1 lap with the softs, then we make our pit stop, and then 2-2-2. We don't have we avoid stacking, and believe it or not, it's a very fast strategy. My only concern is the temperature. How much do we need to conserve with the softs in order to make 2 laps? Zeta is a very tricky. It was easy last season. This season is very different. It's very tricky. Well, we are waiting some updates in tire life, in the life of the tires, with the next update. So we'll see if the tires get bigger life, then Jeddah will become a little bit less of a problem, and softs will be again uh, very a very good choice, and a very fast choice. Now it's a little bit tricky with the softs, but mediums and hards are not so fast. So let's keep it this way, and we'll see about the rest. Um, we have time until the update, so let's not worry about it for now. We are going when it comes, we are going to see what changes we have to make to our strategies. So let's see again our tracks: Silverstone, Hungary, Austin, Miami, Bahrain. Be careful with the softs. It will be we have to see if we can make 3 laps with the softs. Then Azerbaijan, Baku, Jeddah, again even more careful with our tires, and finally again in Silverstone with 4% chance of raining. So that's it for our weekend, for our races in the weekend. I hope you liked the video, and I hope that we're going to help you to get a good result, get into the final, and get as high as possible. Either way, please send us your feedback below in the comments section, and of course I'm waiting you in my live streams and other videos. Almost every day we have something new. Smash the like button, and don't forget to come back. See you next time, and hope for great results to everyone. Take care.